You're listening to Pole Parlour, a fun, inspiring podcast for all those bewitched by pole dance. Each week, your Madam Crimson Minxxx has candid conversation with unique, engaging individuals from within and around the pole dance community. Pole Parlour is passionate about preaching creativity, soulful sensuality, and empowerment through pole dance.
You know how we do.
Welcome everyone to Pole Parlour. This is episode 48, Makeda of Flying Over 50. I'm your host, Crimson Minxxx. This week on the podcast, we have self-proclaimed sexy senior and pole priestess Makeda of the blog Flying Over 50. On this episode, we talk about how Makeda discovered pole in her 50s and how it's helped transform her life, how she views pole studios as goddess temples and dance as a spiritual practice, how she turned negative social media into a positive experience, and we discuss the need for different levels of entry in pole in order to be more inclusive as a community. Also, don't forget to check out Makeda's post-podcast interview on the blog at poleparlour.com, where she shares her favorite photos, music, video, and more. And if you're enjoying these episodes, please share with your pole homies so we can spread the gospel of pole dance together. So now, let's bring on Makeda.
Soft as I turn my Blackberry off, and I turn your bathwater on, and you turn off your iPhone.
Welcome, Makeda of Flying Over 50 to the Pole Parlour podcast. How are you today?
Hi, how are you? How are you? Blessings.
Oh, blessings right back to you. Everything's doing swell over here, and so excited to speak with you.
Thank you. I'm honored to be invited to Pole Parlour. I love Pole Parlour.
Oh, Pole Parlour.
I feel like I have actually arrived.
Well, we're going to talk about you've been featured in a lot of things, so I'm honored to be on that list.
Hey, you are. So thank you.
You're welcome. So let's jump in with the first question we ask everyone.
Okay.
For how long have you been poling, and how did you first discover pole dance?
This is my 6th year for polling.
Wow.
And how did I discover pole dance? Girl, that's a long story. I discovered it by fluke. Okay, I have to tell you 2 things.
Sure.
I've never really gone to strip clubs, but I had a client who was a bodyguard and manager at a strip club in San Diego, and I was doing PR for him. And the strip club was actually doing a fundraiser for blah, 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 something. Anyway, so I ended up going to San Diego. And this is so weird because this is still in my mind. This is way before I started pole dancing. All the women had on the baddest shoes. And when I was walking around the women, like some of the shoes were like 10 inches and 9 inches. And they all had this sense of diva empowerment about them. Like I had never been that close to dancers before. Yeah. And I was just like, wow, like the energy of it was so cool. So I remember that. And then sitting inside the gentleman's club, there was a woman, I remember her in my head. She was way up on the pole and she was doing these amazing tricks. And in my mind, I just looking at her saying, oh my God, she's a living goddess. I would never in 100 years be able to do what she's doing. Like she just blew me away. That's where the seed was planted.
There you go. Little did you know.
Little did I know. Then cut chase the years later, how I got introduced to pole dancing. That's a whole long story, which I guess we can get into. But
we have the time.
Okay, well, I was in this really low period in my life. Girl, it was really low. It was like suicidal low. I had lost everything. I've told this story again and again, but it's kind of important because I was really at a low point. Like every day it was hard to get up out the bed. I just really did not want to be here on the planet. Mm-hmm. So I was trying to regroup. I had lost everything, lost my houses, lost my cars. My man had walked out of me and never called me again, never looked back, never sent me $1, left me broke down. Oh my God, so much problem. IRS had audited me. My house had got foreclosed. My cars that got repoed, like everything you could think of bad that could happen. almost everything, but like a whole lot of stuff that happened really horrible. I had lost my house. I was living in a 3,000 square foot house like a diva girl. Lost the house, everything. Had to move to Hollywood in a 1-bedroom apartment. I hadn't lived in an apartment in like 25 years. I felt like my life was over. Like, what?
Oh, no. What year was this?
This was like in 2009. I lost everything in 2008, 2009. 2010, all of that. Like I started losing everything in 2008. By 2009, everything had crashed. By end of 2009, 2010, I was living in Hollywood, trying to make the best of my days, living off of Groupon and living social coupons, trying to, trying to have some semblance of life as I knew it. So didn't have a car, was living in Hollywood, would go for walks every day, walk around Hollywood, try to keep my energy up.
Yeah.
Walking down Hollywood Boulevard one day, there was this woman who was being photographed. She was an older woman, and she was you used to live in Hollywood, in LA, right?
I know. I was just going to say, your lowest life sounds like my highest of life, but it's all perspective now, isn't it? Like a 1-bedroom in Hollywood.
I know, right, but
I was moving up. I wasn't moving down. So again, it's all perspective, Mama.
But parts of Hollywood are really ghetto, and I was in ghetto part of Hollywood. I lived off of Hollywood Boulevard. There were street people. There were junkies. It was the ghetto part of Hollywood. So I was in Hollywood on like Hollywood Boulevard and Vine. There was a woman being photographed, and she just exuded so much light. It was amazing. And I remember walking past her going like, oh my gosh, she's so amazing. She had blonde hair. She was doing a split on the sidewalk, and there was a photographer shooting a picture of her. So next thing I know, I'm just walking along minding my business, and I look up, and I swear this was like a movie to me. I looked up, and she was walking right next to me. So it was so weird, because it was like, I just saw her being photographed. How is she walking right next to me? Like, it was really weird. So I looked at her, and I said, oh my God, I just saw you being photographed. And she had an English accent, and she was like, oh, darling, I was just walking along, and some young gentleman wanted to photograph me. So I figured, what the heck? I'd do a split.
Wow.
She was so fabulous, and we started chit-chatting. So, okay, I'm 50. I'm looking at her saying, she's about my age, maybe a little older, maybe a little younger. I couldn't really place her age. So we were chit-chatting, and I said, how old are you? Because she was, I really wanted to know. She said, darling, don't tell anyone. I'm 74. I stopped.
What?
What? I stopped like in the street, like in the sidewalk. I said, what? What? I touched her. I said, what?
Yeah, what's your secret?
What's your secret? That's what I said. I said, oh my God. She said, I started doing yoga in my 40s. That's my secret to life. She said, darling, go take a yoga class.
Okay.
So I started calculating. I said, oh my God, she started in her 40s. I'm in her 50s. I got to get started right away.
Got to catch up.
Her name was Magda. When she told me her name, I almost cried, because Magda and Makeda are derivatives of the same root. So it's almost like we have the same name. So on this whole metaphysical level, I felt like she was this angel, and she had come to me to give me this message. And I really started crying, because it was like so weird. And I was like boo-hooing on the corner of like Hollywood and Vine, saying, no, you don't know me, but I feel like you're here to give me a message.
I know, it sounds like the most divine meeting. So
yeah. And she gave me a hug, and she said, do you know what your name means? And I said, well, I know it has a lot of meanings. And she said, darling, it means immortal. It means eternal life. We never age. And I just started booing more. So we exchanged numbers. She and I are still friends to this day. She lives in England. She's 80 years old. She sent me a picture of her. She is still doing splits. She is so fabulous. I talked to her a month or so ago, and she said, one thing I want you to remember, Makeda, she says, if they lie to us, we never get old. We never get old. And I said, I'm going to hold that in my heart.
Yeah.
So that was like, that just instills So fabulous. So anyway, I went to found a yoga class, took the yoga class. Oh my gosh, I was sweating after that yoga class, but I was like, I can't do this forever. This is too much. I was like, I got to find something else to do. Yoga is not going to get it for like an hour and a half. So scrolling through, I think Groupon Living Social, saw the coupon for 3 pole dance classes. And when I saw the pole dance, Groupon, Living Social thing, I thought about
San Diego.
It's like made this connection. It's like I saw it and I was like, San Diego. I was like, well, it's only $25-$30. I know I don't have a lot of money, but if I go take one class and I don't like it, I won't feel like I wasted money, right? So bought the Living Social. Still took a few months before I actually went in and take the class. I still had to get up the nerve to like go do this. Once I went to do it, took that first class, I was hooked. It was like I compared it to crack cocaine or like a drug. It's like that
or
one
yoga for some people.
For yoga for some people, but I went to that one class. It changed my life. I was hooked. And I think the reason I was really hooked was because inside, okay, this gets a little metaphysical too.
Go for it.
To me, the studios are like temples for women. Ancient temples where we can just go for healing. So when I walked into the dance studio, because I'm not a dancer, I had never been a dancer, I had never really done the whole dance studio thing. When I walked into the studio, it just felt like this real sense of like, wow, calm and healing. That was the first thing. And then taking the class, my brain was so engaged and focused, I didn't think about anything else. For that hour, 15 minutes I was in class, nothing else in the world, everything, it's so weird.
It's
everything
like meditative
was
to you.
It was very meditative, yes.
Present, yeah.
Yes, everything just disappeared and all I could think about was trying to keep up with the teacher, focus on what she was doing, mimic what she was doing. It was amazing. So I was hooked.
Wow.
I started my
And that was 5 years ago now.
That was almost 6 years ago. Yes, that was like 2011. Yeah.
Okay. So like I'm assuming that, well, I know that things have then since gotten better for you, which is great. So how did you find yourself then, because you have your blog, Flying Over 50. When did you start kind of recording your journey?
I posted my first poll picture and video to Facebook after I had been polling for a year.
Okay.
So I didn't do any social media until like a year. And when I did it, it was of me doing an invert because it took me a year to learn how to do it.
You know what? People, it took me like 9 months and,
Exactly.
I started in my young 30s, so I have no excuse, but it's just harder for some of us,
Oh my, I was so ecstatic that I could hang upside down on a pole.
It's a
like
feat.
What? Mm-hmm. It's a feat. It's like what? So I posted my first picture on Facebook, and that just sent tremors around my beingness. People lost their minds.
Because maybe a lot of your family are like girlfriends
I hadn't told anyone really I was taking polls. So it was like, and then to me, the picture I had on like regular clothes. I didn't have any heels. It was very athletic. People still lost their minds. Something about a pole just drives people crazy.
I know. Oh my goodness. I just heard this quote just on another podcast I was listening to before recording this podcast that was, people who are easily offended need to be offended more. And I feel like if you're offended by a pole, like you need to go see the world.
Yes, this is so true. This is so true.
That was a Mae West quote, I think, by the way.
Oh, I love Mae West. Yeah. And it's up to us to continue to shake people and wake people up. So
yeah,
it's what we're here to do.
So you said, I'm going to, you know what? I need to make these people woke. Like, I'm going to start.
Well, I was just so excited that at 50 that I could hang upside down on a pole. I was like, I've got to share this. This is like amazing. Like, I can't work this hard and just keep all this joy and wonderfulness in myself.
Yeah.
I've got to brag. I've got to share. I got to be like, like a kid. Oh my God, look what I can do. And so once I did that, it was just like, I just had to go for it. Like, I guess probably before I posted it, for days before I posted, I was like, should I post it? Maybe I shouldn't. I played around with it. And then once I did it, it was done. I couldn't take it back. So it was like, okay, it's out there now. Then I just kept posting and posting and posting, and it just grew and grew and grew.
And it grew and grew and grew. And those who have been following your story knows that it wasn't always positive feedback, which is inevitably going to happen.
Yes, I guess.
Put yourself out there.
It's so interesting because, well, when I first started posting across social media, across Facebook, first it was very tame, just tricks that I was learning with no shoes and blah, blah. But then, you kind of get more into it, and then
you get comfortable.
I don't know, you get comfortable. You don't care. I started wearing shoes. I started wearing skimpier clothes. I started dancing. I started putting music behind it. Like this whole artist in me took over, and it became more and more artistic, and it just evolved. And so I'm posting on social media, and I'm not really thinking anything about it. But the first tremor I heard was one of my girlfriends. Well, two people told me who were like in my sphere of people. One girlfriend told me that there was a rumor going around that I was having a midlife crisis and a nervous breakdown because it was rumored that I had lost my house and lost everything. And I was really I was having a breakdown. That's why I was pole dancing. That was the first rumor I heard. I was like, whatever,
this
child.
Is getting me out of my breakdown, actually.
Yes, so. I was like, this is getting me out of my breakdown. I was like, whatever. The other, I have a girlfriend. She said she was at a kind of Hollywood event, and she called me up. She said, girl, I was sitting there on the couch minding my own business. There were some guys over across the other room, and lo and behold, I'm just eavesdropping, and one of them says, you know Makeda? Another one says, I know Makeda. And they said, have you seen her on social media lately? She said, girl, they pulled out the phone and started pulling up your phone pic. She said that she wanted to holler, but she just played it off. She said that they weren't saying anything bad, but they were scrolling through it and making little comments like woo, woo, woo. And she said she just wanted to be like, that's my girlfriend. But she said she didn't say anything. And I was like, oh my God, I had no idea that, wow. You don't really think about social media. You never know. I was like, oh, so that's when it kind of hit me that social media really is far reaching.
And you're catching people's attention.
And you're catching people's attention, yes. So those were my two little early wake-up calls. But when I went viral, the negative part you're referring to, that didn't happen until last year. So that was my 5th year of polling.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. So I'm all comfortable in my 5th year of polling. I'm not expecting anything to happen. I'm just whatever, people know I'm a publicist, people know I poll, people have gotten over whatever, about it. And most people know me, so they know they can't bring anything to my face because I'm a gangster from Chicago.
Then they say Chicago Makeda.
Most people know that there is a Chicago Makeda. So when I went viral, it was really shocking to me because, of course, it was people I didn't know. But there was a video I posted, and I really didn't think anything about it. When I look at the video, I can tell I was very tired in the video, but I posted this little dance vignette because I recorded it after literally taking 3 hours of classes. I was so exhausted. Wow. But in that week, it was a week last year when 2 or 3 people had gotten killed by the police, and then the police had got killed in retaliation. Mm-hmm. And the energy was just so heavy. Mm-hmm. And I know you're an empath. I'm an empath. So as an empath, things affect us on so many different levels. And I was just feeling really heavy, and I had to dance this heaviness off of me. And then I wanted to share my dance of this heaviness and lifting it off of me. So when I posted the video, to me, it just looked like all my regular videos. I didn't even think about it. That video went viral, and somebody tagged it and said, who is this granny, or come get your granny, or I don't even know. They tagged it with the granny thing. And in my mind, I'm like, wait a minute. I ain't never told nobody I got grandbabies,
Which you do.
which I do. But I was like, how do they know I'm a granny? I'm like, do I look that bad dancing? What are they trying to say? It really threw me for a loop. Oh, they called me a granny stripper. They said, come get this granny stripper or something. Anyway, that video and that tag, granny stripper, it went amazingly viral. It didn't just go viral across social media. It went viral, like entertainment
And like
bloggers
shows and
picked it up.
stuff. And
Like it went crazy. It even like porn sites picked it up. Okay? Exactly.
wow.
Exactly. It went like around the world and back and forth.
And you're a publicist, and work in public relations. You understand like the implications of this and like the
Yes. And as a publicist, this is what I had to do. Okay, when it first came to my attention, like people were inboxing me on media saying, I don't know if you've seen this. I just really tried to ignore it because I went to the first place I saw and I saw the comments and they were like, oh, look at this granny. Oh, she must be on welfare. Oh, look at her trying to strip. Oh, let me throw her some dollars. It was really derogatory stuff.
Yeah.
And I did like this. And then I said, okay, I can't read any more comments because I tell my clients when stuff happens to them, don't read the comments. The comments will drive you crazy. So I didn't read the comments. I said, I'm going to ignore this. But people kept inboxing me and letting me know that this was out there. And I kept trying to ignore it. And I would meditate and pray on it. And then I said, you know what? The universe is not making this go away. Every time I think it's died down, literally 2 weeks ago past, and it'll pop up in another publication. So it was not going away. So I said, the universe wants me to address this. There's a reason I have to address this. I can't ignore it. It's not going away. It doesn't matter if I don't read the comments. Other people are reading the comments. So I took a deep breath. I said, okay, here we go. So I can't remember which one it was. The one that drove me crazy, the headline that drove me crazy, it says something about, I can't remember the headline, but it was something about welfare and granny. The words welfare and granny. Oh, and the publication, the magazine was Ratchet Thursdays or something. It was something so crazy.
Oh, a highly esteemed publication.
A highly esteemed publication. Yes, exactly. So I went on Facebook and I said, obviously y'all don't know who I am. And I tagged the Ratchet publication. I said, if anything, I am not ratchet. I am not your granny. And I don't try to strip because I can't keep up with my stripper friends because those are the baddest, bees I know. I don't even get that lane. And I just went off on social media. I tagged all the people who I know who had clowned me, like media-wise. I tagged them all, and I spent a whole day just cussing everybody out. Cussing. I don't cuss on social media. I try to stop cussing. I was like, y'all trying to take me back to Chicago. Y'all don't know who I am. I'm not with this anymore. And I started cussing people out. Then I started tagging, I tagged like, no more body shaming, fuck ageism, fuck sexism. I just started going off.
Folks felt like it was like a release,
It was like a release. Folks was inboxing me like, Makeda, are you okay? My partner with my PR agency was like, girl, you should breathe. She said, you should breathe because they are taking you back to the old Makeda who I haven't seen in a while. And I was just like, I am sick of these folks. They cannot shame me anymore. I'm going to... Oh, this is what happened. The woman from, I can't think of her name, from Ghostbusters. The black woman in Ghostbusters was being shamed around the same time. Yes. The tall black comedian.
I don't know her name, but
I can't think of her name right now because my brain is gone.
I remember that going on of people.
And there was a quote. I remember reading an interview, and she said, we have to be louder than the haters. Oh. And I said, she's right, because most of the time the haters come and we just kind of, they make us feel so bad we don't do anything. So I started tagging her too. I said, I'm going to be louder than the haters. And then I told everybody I'm about to wear higher heels, less clothes. And y'all wanted to call me a stripper. And I wasn't even trying to strip. I'm going to show y'all.
Yeah, because it's not like, there's a difference between reacting with just like spewing
Exactly.
words that don't mean anything and then reacting louder in a sense like I'm going to be bigger than this and
Bigger than this.
I'm going to show you.
So I said, I'm
Yeah.
going to show you. And I went on this mission and I started tagging. I went to the studio, recorded stuff, went through my archives, and I just started posting all my best stuff. And I started tagging, no more sexism, no more ageism, fuck ageism, fuck sexism, blah, blah, blah. One of my posts I put up, it was me hanging from the pole or something. I can't remember, but on it I put, and I tagged everybody. This is me on the pole hanging at least 7 feet in the air with one arm holding my body weight in 9-inch heels. So if you want to shame me for this, meet me on top of the pole, blah, blah, blah.
I'll see you up here.
I'll see you up here. There was another tag I put. I said, I would tell y'all just to kiss my ass, but I'm 9 feet up in the air and you can't reach my
Oh, that's clever. I like that one.
So I just started tagging away and going crazy and hashtagging.
Sounds like you were having fun with it too.
And I started having fun with it. Yeah, because they got all that energy off me, all that. Because I'm an empath. So feeling all that negative energy. So I just had to whoosh, whoosh, whoosh and get it off of me. But what happened was women started inboxing me and thanking me, which I never expected. They were like, we're so glad you didn't disappear. Oh my God, if that was me, I just would have took down all my social media, but you didn't. Thank you for standing up for us. And it just snowballed into what I never expected it to snowball into. And then one of my media people contacted me and wanted to do an interview with me because she had saw everything that was going on. And she did an interview. The interview ran a few months later and her interview went like crazy viral. So then there was this whole spew of stuff going viral again, but it was all positive this time. So we turned it around. So I guess the universe didn't let me sleep on it and ignore it because I had to get out there and be positive and be a role model and shine my light. Had to shine the light. Sometimes it's hard shining light, girl. We just want to go to bed.
I know. It's like, I have never had this experience. So, I can't say how I would react, but I would hope that it's like, okay, the situation has already happened, how I react is going to create how I feel about it in the future. So like you kind of control it from there. So it's like, how can you control it?
How can you control it? And it really, for like several weeks, I really just went to bed. Like I couldn't do anything. Like
you have to do that.
I had to digest it. I was just like, I would go to sleep at night and be like there was this one site and they had over 300,000 views and over 5,000 comments. Like that was weighing on me energetically. Yeah. Like there's some stuff you can't ignore. And then I was like, I have clients who go through this and I counsel them, but now I understand what they're going through.
Probably made you better at your, professional life too.
I guess so. Probably so in the long run. Everything is a lesson. So I got over it, but it was a lot.
Yeah, well, I'm so happy that you responded as you did and kind of, turn lemons into lemonade.
Shake those haters. Those haters are trying to come for me.
Yeah, because then you ended up getting featured in like prevention. And
yes, it all turned around.
Yeah.
It turned to a huge positive. I've gotten so much press. I've been in People magazine is the South African version. I think there's a London publication. I haven't seen it yet, but supposedly they ran an article on me last week. So it really, the positive spin on it has really gone international. So I had to go on social media and I had to be like, thank you, haters.
Yes. Yes. Yeah, and like you were able to reach so many people, inspired so many people.
And inspired so many people.
And the people that left those nasty comments have forgotten about that. Last year, like, a minute after they write it, they're on to hating something else.
They're
but the people the people that you did positive impact, like they're still remembering that.
They're still remembering. People still post under social media and say, I remember when the haters came for you and I'm so happy to see that you didn't let it stop you and we love you and I follow you and you're an inspiration and all that just warms my heart.
Yeah, because I see you integrating pole as like a spiritual practice. So
It's so spiritual for me. It really is.
yeah, do you want to just tell us a little bit
Um,
about that or how you think you can connect? Because I love how you made the connection between the pole studio and the goddess temple, and I feel that way as well. And I've had conversations similar to that before. So like, how can people use
yeah,
pole as like, as part of a spiritual practice? And
polling for me is so spiritual.
yeah,
Okay, I think like one of my past lives, I was a dancer. I used to always think that, but I've never professionally danced.
okay.
Now that I'm polling, that entity in me that used to dance before, she is alive in me now. The temple is really a healing agency for women. If more women would go to dance studios, like women give so much. We give so much. We raise kids, we nurture men, we run the household, we go to work. We're constantly giving, 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 putting out. We don't nurture ourselves. The dance studio, I think, I can't say the gym maybe so, but the dance studio is more intimate and it's more usually like there's some dance studios that are now co-ed, but usually dance studios are more women, so it's more female energy.
And it's feminine energy as opposed to
It's
even if the
feminine, yeah,
males that
even if the men
come,
are there, you're right.
it's
Thank you.
feminine
It's feminine
energy.
energy.
Yeah.
And so for me, the dance studio is the temple. It's like back in the day, we goddesses used to have temples where we would go and nurture each other. That's what the dance studio in it is. It holds feminine energy. The pole anchors that feminine energy. It becomes our wand, our broom, the earth axis, what we can hold on to while the world is spinning around in madness. Is oh my gosh, I'm at a loss for words. It's so
Uh,
much.
that was amazing. So, wow,
I feel like
that
my
was put.
I feel like my words are tumbling over each other, but movement, whether it's on the pole, on the floor, on the wall, in the air, movement awakens the goddess within us. So that's why, like, I really say movement matters and it's important for women to move. In my classes, I usually start my classes and ask women, when was the last time you just shook your hips? Just shook your hips. Because think about when we were little girls, we used to stand, in front of our houses and play the little games and shake our little
Yeah.
hips. Like, that's what we
And
did.
that's where women store their energy
That's where
in
we
their
store
hips.
our energy and our power and our feminine center. And then we get older and our hips get stiffer and we don't move them anymore.
They
And we
say
start,
like men store their stress in I think their back and their shoulders, and women in
yes,
their hips. So we have to move
we
them.
have to move our hips. That's our kundalini. That's our root chakra. That's our birth canal. That's where our sex organs are. Everything is right there. You got to move the hips. You got to keep the energy flowing. So movement, dance, whether it's pole or whatever, it keeps you moving. It keeps that energy flowing. It keeps that chi moving throughout your whole body. And so many women, especially older women, we don't move our hips anymore. We don't move. We get stagnant. We start feeling like they tell us that we're old. They tell us what we're not supposed to do anymore. They tell us we're not attractive. They tell us, ugh, girl, all the drama they tell us is all just lies. So it's another reason you got to shake your hips because you got to shake all that off of you.
Yes, because they can't sell something to you if you feel good about
You
yourself, you
feel,
know?
thank you, and thank you. Yes, yes, and yes.
I love how you present it as a spiritual practice and how you always have all of these insights on that. And I feel like it spills over into your life as well. So
Well,
I'm hoping that your life, when you had that dark night of the soul before, hopefully
yes,
all of this energy that you've gotten from your pole temple has brought you back up to a
it
higher
has.
place.
It has. I can't say that I have the money I had before. I have the housing around me that I had before. I can't say that I have maybe all the physical trappings I had before, but I am the happiest, the healthiest, the more spiritually grounded, and the most focused I've ever been. And I feel like a teenager. Pole dancing, when I was going through that, I had literally lost my mojo. Out of everything I lost when that man walked out on me, that's when it zapped. I didn't feel like a worthy woman anymore. I stopped eating. I stopped dressing up. I just, you know how
Yeah,
we do.
because
We just stop.
before you were putting all your feminine focus for yourself was
Exactly.
focused on your man. We're
Exactly.
with pole.
Exactly.
Now it was just for yourself. So it's like,
So once I started pole dancing, going to class, having an opportunity to dress up, wear shoes, move around the pole, feel sexy, girl, I got my mojo back.
you didn't
And
need
you're
that
right.
man.
You didn't need the man because, like I said, what you just said, we put the feminine energy somewhere else. But when you start focusing that feminine energy on yourself, then you realize that you don't need everything you thought you need. When you're nurturing yourself, you get nurtured. Like, I'm not gonna leave myself
It's true. It's hard to do.
again.
Yeah, I
So
love
pole
that.
gave me all that. Pole saved my life between pole and my meditation practice. But I feel like my meditation practice is what led me to Magda, which led me to pole, and pole saved my life.
What is your meditation practice?
I practice sound therapy meditation. I've been practicing for like 10 years. I have an iPod full of the most glorious sound meditations from probably around the globe. I collect them and I sit every morning and every evening with headsets on and I sit still and I let that sound dance all through my body and enliven my cells and my beingness. I've been doing that for 10 years.
Wow. Can you
And
share one with us that I could put in the show notes for people to
oh,
be
I
able
would
to?
love to. I was
Yeah,
gonna say I'm gonna send you one. I'm gonna send one to you, and then I'll share one.
that
The
would be
thing
lovely.
about um, when I first tried meditation 10 years ago, sitting still, it didn't work for me because my brain
Oh,
would go
right?
like it just
I got to do this. I got to do this. Oh, crap. I forgot
meditation.
about this.
Yeah, they say sit still for 10 minutes, and that 10 minutes, every freaking 100,000 thoughts roll through my
Yeah.
head. With sound therapy meditation, the frequency and the music and the tones take your brain waves and scientifically slow them down. So, like the first few minutes, you may think about a lot of stuff, but then that music takes over and those sounds, and your brain literally slows down till you don't think, like, it's amazing. You don't think about anything. And then the messages and the music just kind of woosah through your body, and it's a whole total body, being, mind, sound, magical phenomenon. You totally relaxed.
Yeah.
Yes.
You've definitely found ways to ground yourself and
And I had to ground myself because aside from just regular life, I work in the entertainment business, which is like, it's probably not
crazy.
the, I won't say it's the wackiest, but for me, it's the wackiest world.
It's, yeah, it's
It's the wackiest world. And and I'm an empath. So I have clients and I can feel people's energy. So it's just a lot. So I have to take time and just like close everything off, go into my bubble and just do self-healing so then I can come back and deal with everybody else.
yeah,
Yeah.
I'm gonna put a link to one that you send in the notes so people can try it out.
Yes, and I'm going to send you one just
Oh,
for you.
oh, I can't wait. Thank you so much.
I gotta feel what it is you need. I may have to send you some questions and I'm going to send you something magical.
Yes, please.
Yes,
Thank you
I
so
will. I
much.
will. I love sending people meditations.
Oh, that's so cool. And so, do you have advice for women out there who are maybe interested in trying pole dance, but who are a little older and think,
Oh my gosh, yes. Okay, I teach movement classes, the flying over 50 dance
yeah,
flow,
what is that?
and it's targeted toward older women. I say women over 40, but all women are welcome.
Okay.
But the thing what I found, okay, in the dance community, the pole community, we are really different creatures.
Yeah. Yes. And
We
sometimes
really
I forget that in the real
No,
world.
I was going to say that. I was going to say that. We are really different creatures, and we forget that in the real world,
Yeah.
like or in the other world. So, what I've had to come to terms with is that most women older in my age are intimidated by heels, high heels.
Okay.
They're intimidated by poles. They're intimidated by sexy dance wear.
Yes.
They like me showing them, talking to them is not going to break it. They're like, no, not doing it. You look good, girl. Go ahead. More power to you, but not me.
Yeah.
So what I realized is that I had to come up with something. Like I said, movement matters. I had to get something to get to bring older women together and get them comfortable with moving. So my class is floor work, and it's sexy floor work, but it's slow. It's not intimidating. It's kind of yoga inspired, and it's easy floor work. And what I'm finding, and I have women in my classes as young as 40 and as old as 70.
Nice.
And my 70-year-old student is such a hot mama. She's going to be my star student. I'm going to break her out on the internet. I can't wait. What I'm finding is that if I can just get them to at least one class, they get hooked. And if we do slow, sexy movement, things that you and I take for granted, like leg waves or hip rolls, stuff that like that's like floor work 101 for us. This leg wave, doing 2 or 3 of those will exhaust the average woman. When we do a leg wave in class and we sit back and do the leg waves and we do like 3, then women sit up and be like, Makeda, you trying to kill me.
Like I'm trying to break you free.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm like, no. So then I have to go, okay, we have to wait, relax, and we're going to do a few more. Yeah. You really have to take non-dancers, older women who are non-dancers, you have to take them slower. Like the average pole floor work class in the studio will wipe them out and they will never come back.
That's a good advice to studio owners, like, you know.
Studio owners don't, most studio owners are younger, and studio owners don't realize that. And what I realized, having been in class with younger women for 5 years, I know I am of a different breed. I'm a gangster goddess because the average person, there's so many times I didn't want to go back to class and I made myself go back to class. It wasn't just the physicality of class as an older woman, it was the mental drama I went through. For an older woman to be in class surrounded by 20 and 30-year-olds who can catch the dance moves quicker, who can do the dance moves quicker. I'm sitting next to you and we're doing leg waves. And by the second one, I want to lay down because y'all are on number 6. Only because of my brain and the way I've trained my brain, I'm going to make myself like, no, I'm going to keep up. No, I'm going to come back to class. No, I'm going to do this. The average woman is like, oh, I'm not doing that no more.
Yeah. So some advice would be real. Like,
the advice is to find. Well, I wouldn't even tell. I wouldn't even take my class, but I wouldn't even tell older women to necessarily take a pole class first. Oh, I have another anecdote about that. True. I would tell them to take a movement class, to take a floor work class, or something slow to ease them into moving. When I was in New York, I have another goddess sister. I'm 56. I think she's 57 or 58. I sent her to a pole studio, to an introductory pole class.
In New York City, I'm sure it's like,
oh my gosh. Yes, who knew that? I didn't know that. I didn't know that's what I was doing to her. When I took an introductory pole class, it was an introductory pole class.
Detail, yeah.
It was like walk around the pole, move your hips, walk around the pole. It was easy stuff. Learn the fireman. The fireman took me 3 months to learn, but it's okay. Learn the fireman. It was an introductory pole class. In her introductory pole class, they climbed the pole. They did inverse. They did everything but walk around the damn pole and do it. She came to me. We met for coffee, for smoothies after the class. And I was so excited. Like, how'd you like the class? Because she's been watching me. She wants to do it. She's like, Makeda, I applaud you because I'm never going back to pole again. She said, it's just not for me. And I was just like, pole is for everybody. What are you talking about? And she told me what happened in the class, and I said, oh my God, that's not supposed to be an introductory pole class. I said, when I took pole 5 years ago, maybe introductory classes were different from what they're now, because everything changes. And I was like, I'm so sorry. I told her, don't go take another class. Go take an exotic dance class, 101.
I like that advice.
You just learn how to move your body and flow on the floor and get sexy with yourself. And then, do 6 months of exotic dance, and then you'll probably be ready to do a pole. I said, so I apologized to her. I said, I didn't realize what the introductory pole class is now, and you're already intimidated going in there. And then I said, I was so done. Yes. So now that made me realize that older women are really a special breed and a special market, and we need extra love and extra care that most people just really don't understand. Like, until you hit your 50s, maybe I don't even think in your 40s, because I didn't understand the stuff that I understand now in my 50s that I did in my 40s. But until you get here, you really don't know. And I've tried to tell teachers that, like younger teachers, and they don't get it. And I'm not mad that they don't get it. It's like some things you can't get until you're there. But I'm here and I get it. So that's why I offer the Flying Over 50 classes, because I can relate to the women that come to my class and we do 2 leg waves and they be like, woo.
Yeah.
They'd be like, woo, or I'm doing something simple like a wall pivot. And they're just like, their brains they just don't get it. And I have to come and stand next to them and be like, breathe, relax. Okay, don't think for a minute. Just mimic me and don't think. Stop thinking about what I'm telling you and just do it. And then they do it and then they relax. And there's this whole over their face like, oh, and I say, remember when you were young and used to do this move? And they go, oh, it's a whole nother world for us old chicks, okay?
Wow. It's an amazing world, and that you're, there to help walk people through it.
I am here to help my older sisters. I understand.
And I have to say, like, this isn't just isolated to older women, because I have friends who are, in their mid 30s, late 30s, and I've talked to women who are in their 20s, and they would never take a pole class because they can. It's not even a physical thing. It's like, I can't be that sexy, or I can't be like that.
Exactly.
So it's maybe less of the strength and more of like, I can't be sexy or sensual like that. If I say like, can you touch your boob right now? Okay, if you can't touch your boob right now, like, you need to take some sensual dance classes. And
the sensual dance classes are so important.
Amazing advice.
It's like, even in my class, when we lay on the floor and do the, just the simple laying across the floor like that. And I tell the women, okay, take your fingertips and rub them across your legs. That is mind-blowing to them.
Yeah, it freaks people out. We've
really
become disconnected from our bodies.
We're so disconnected. And then I take it a step further. I say, okay, so this time take your hands and rub them over your behinds. And they go,
yeah.
Because we are so disconnected from our bodies. So we got to take baby steps, but baby steps get us there, because now I got my 70-year-old wearing heels in class.
Yes, good work. Yeah, we just have to have, a more open entry, more lower level entry into what we do. And we talk about the podcast all the time. If that's not what your thing is, that's what your thing is. And if taking a level 1 means you want to start flipping, that's awesome. But there should be alternatives. And I'm going to plug Poetic Justice in the Bronx as that you should send your friend to Poetic Justice.
Oh, thank you. I will.
Marie has a very inclusive program going on.
I'm going to definitely tell her. I'm going to text her and tell her.
Yeah. So, it's our responsibility as a pole community, if we want to keep it an inclusive thing, to have this discussion, to be able to get out there that we need different levels of entry, and we need to consider.
We really do. Yeah. We really do. And I have to say it again. we are not like, I think sometimes we're so inclusive that we forget we really aren't normal. We aren't the norm. We aren't regular women. We are like a different kind of goddess. Any woman
Yeah,
that can climb a pole and then climb a pole in heels and then flip on a pole, that's
that's
not
crazy.
your that's really crazy. And then we get so like we keep people around us who do the same thing, so we think that's the norm. It is not the norm.
It's true. It's true. That's how you get to that from that comfort level of like, I'll post a one picture on Instagram. So I'm just going to post everything because you're just
Yeah,
surrounded by
because you
those
just
people who
yeah,
are,
by those people, and then you get your wake up call and be like,
yeah.
"Ooh, baby, you are not the norm."
Not everyone is as empowered and open minded as us. And it's a shame, but we're
Not
working
at all.
on it.
But we're working on it exactly.
Yeah, which brings me to my next thought, which is because you're a publicist, we
Uh,
talk about this a lot. How, one way that we can help make this the norm, more of this open mindedness, this uh, more acceptance of the pole community is by just getting ourselves out there to not just for people to see, but for people to try, to it not be like this stigma of like, the pole. So, as a publicist, do you have advice for the community as a
um,
whole of how we can get like positive exposure and maybe even sponsorships eventually for our
yes,
dancers?
I do.
Cool.
What I used when I first started, okay, this is going into my 6th year. What I noticed when I started becoming active on social media, and I would see other pole people on social media, their settings are usually set to either what friends, private.
Hmm.
They're very, I don't know, maybe more so now. But what I notice is when I see other pole peers, rarely are their postings set to public.
Yeah, because we don't want to deal with what you dealt with.
I know, but I know, but it's a catch-22 because if you're only publicizing your feats within your circle, then how are you going to get broader attention for what you're doing, i.e., media exposure, sponsors outside of what you like? Just how?
Yeah,
Like if I'm only saying, "Oh, I learned how to do this flip," and I'm only telling the people who are already flipping around me,
yeah. So
and, you
assuming
know.
that some people have jobs where they can't because
But
they'll lose
now
their
I do
job.
I do understand
Yeah.
that some people do have jobs, but not all of y'all got jobs y'all worried about. so
Especially so the pole stars, that makes sense for sure. If you're trying to become
so
that's
yeah,
your
so
career. Okay.
I understand that there are some people who have jobs and they really can and blah blah blah.
Yeah.
But for the people who don't, and for the people who are looking to go further with this,
Yeah.
you've got to go public. I mean, I know I'm a publicist saying this, but you
Yeah.
have to. If I had stayed quiet within in terms of what I'm doing, okay, I'm an entertainment publicist. I have clients. I'm sure. Have I lost some business? Maybe. I had one person tell me, "Oh, I know somebody who wants to hire you, but they went to your personal page and saw you on the poll, and so they feel like maybe you're not the best person to do their PR." And I just said, "Well, I wouldn't want to do their PR anyway, because if if they think I can't climb a pole and write a press release, I don't want clients like that."
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Exactly. So there is, of course, there's some sacrificing, but how are you going to get bigger until you get bigger? You know what
So
I'm saying?
not
So
saying insular. Like that's what I'm taking
yeah,
from
you can't.
this
Yeah, you
is
can't
that
say
we
instant.
can't say
You
insular.
like.
Did you target specific publications when they wrote the stories? Like, did you send them press
Oh,
releases, or they
but this
literally
this is
everyone reached out to you?
this is what happened. Once I went when I went viral on the negative tip,
Mm-hmm.
because I'm a publicist
Yeah.
and I've been open with myself. One of my media contacts, she's a freelance writer. She contacted me and did an interview with me. She did the interview with me and it didn't run for like 4 or 5 months. When it ran, it went crazy viral. And other media people picked up the story and then people started calling me for interviews and it all just kind of piggybacked. I didn't send out a press release until Prevention Magazine came out, and Prevention Magazine is so huge. They did like a 6-page spread on me. That's like, just as a publicist, that's phenomenal.
Yes.
So
Yes.
I sent out a press release and I publicized the prevention article, and the writer who wrote about me in a publication called XO Nicole.
Okay.
So I did a press release that talked about her article and the article in prevention, and I sent that out, and I sent it out to just all the media in my database, and that kind of garnered me more media attention. Once I don't know, there was a writer who contacted me. She's an international writer, and I don't think she got my press release. I think she saw me on social media and she contacted me. She did the story on me that ran in South Africa and that ran in London. So I didn't really orchestrate this. I just allowed it to happen by opening myself up to the possibilities. So in short, I say the people who are using their social media to post all their phenomenal pole and aerial feats, you've got to set some of those posts to public so that people know what you're doing, so that people can appreciate you, so that you can shine and spread your light.
And really, what got you the attention, also, because more advice I'm taking from this is that you need to connect with people outside of our industry.
Well, yeah.
And so that's kind of like the underlying message is like,
but that's how you go public.
Yeah, with prevention, like they're like, what's pole dance? So it's kind of like catching the attention of people outside of our industry.
Exactly. That's how you can, and that's how we spread the word about pole and aerial arts, and that's how we make it more global, and that's how we make it more accepting. If we just keep it in our inner circle, then it's always going to be something that's looked upon, because people don't know it, they don't understand it, they're curious about it, they have misconceptions about it. If we don't change those misconceptions, how are those misconceptions going to be changed? In my circle of people in the entertainment business, so many people tell me they look at pole dancing as an art now. They never, ever, ever thought about poling as an art. They just equated it with strippers.
Yeah.
I love strippers. I ain't got nothing against strippers. I learned how to dance from strippers. So strippers are artists in my book. But I'm saying to people outside of our circle, they're like, oh, I never would have thought about a pole as art. And I've had people say to me, now when I look at strippers, I see what they're doing as art now. I can appreciate it on a whole nother level. But if I had never exposed my art outside of the pole community, I wouldn't have changed all these people's minds.
True.
So I've changed some of those social media settings to public and stop being private with your stuff.
Scary, but if we can, we'll try.
It's scary, but it's no scarier than learning how to invert, learning how to climb a 9-foot pole, learning how to swing around a pole with one hand. Everything we do is scary.
And you eventually did end up doing a public performance at Cheetah's Amateur Night, which is like a bikini dance bar. Like that's in Hollywood.
The pole amateur. Oh, God, my brain. The amateur pole art night. That was my breakthrough. Oh, after I did that, you couldn't tell me nothing. I was done.
For those who know what it is, it's like Cheetah's is kind of like a bikini stripper bar, but clothed in Hollywood. And there's 2 poles on stage, and they have an amateur night like once a month where
Amanda hosts. I don't think she still does it, but Amanda hosts the amateur night, the pole arts amateur night. I'm probably saying it wrong. Forgive me.
I think it's just amateur pole night.
Yeah,
but
amateur pole night. Yeah.
I mean, this is an idea, something people can start in their own towns if you can get
and
a
club. I think she was trying to take it around to different cities too. I don't know what she's working on, but I've done it twice. I did it for my birthday when I turned 55, and I think I did it when I was 54 or 53. But my first performance, can I just tell you that I didn't sleep for weeks. I was a nervous wreck. I was just like, I had never ever performed publicly. So I was like, why did I agree to do this? Like, I must be crazy. It was, you know how they say you have to face your worst fear and then you're fine?
Yep.
That was my worst fear, performing publicly. And once I faced my fear and I conquered it, now I'm just a whole on stage.
Well, I'm right behind you. I've never performed. I'm performing coming next month, and I'm already like, or like it's like in 2 months or something, but I'm like,
Are
yeah. And so it's so great
it,
for you to hear. And I'm sure there's so many people listening that are like,
it's
oh, I don't
going
want to.
let me
So
tell you,
scared. But I'm
it's
not performing
great.
on stage with people throwing money at me. That's even more scary. But
Well, I figured if I was gonna
you
perform,
did it.
them throwing the money, that was
Yeah.
gonna be my motivation. But let me just tell you, it's like conquering your worst fear, and once you do it, literally, you are going to be free. You're going to be free on a whole nother beautiful, wonderful, spiritual, metaphysical level. You're just going to be free.
Facing your
Watch.
fears. Oh, well,
You're
that
going to
was
be free.
so motivational for me specifically, but I know so many people listening who kind of have that fear
You
of,
will be free. I was so scared. I meditated. I prayed. I sought counsel from other women. It was like, it was a real, like a brick wall of fear, and I had to climb over it. But once you climb over it, then you're at the top of that brick wall, and you're just like, yay.
and you didn't die. Like,
You
look at
don't
you.
die. This is gonna love you. Your angels are gonna applaud you. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited for you.
Oh, well, thank you. This isn't about me, but I just brought that up to be like, hey,
I am.
this is a real struggle for so many of us who've
It
never
is.
performed I've performed within studios before, but never
I have never
in
done
public.
anything.
No.
Yeah, I hadn't even done the in studio recitals.
Wow.
I used to tell people I'm not dancing for nobody but a man when I finally get one.
And now it's like, if he's lucky, I'm dancing for no one but me.
Exactly.
Aw. Well,
Exactly.
that's super motivational. Like, I feel like everything you've said so far is super motivational.
we're
So
good.
we're going to keep it coming. And we're going to move into the second part of the interview, the questions I ask everyone.
Oh, okay.
So who is Makeda's pole crush?
I think I've had the same pole crush forever, and that is Eva Bimbo.
Yeah.
Eva Bimbo.
From
Oh my
Russia.
God, from Russia. She has long legs. I'm short, 5'2", but I have long
Oh,
legs.
no way.
My legs, so people think I'm way taller.
Yeah.
But I love the way she works her legs around the pole. So when I'm dancing, I think I try to channel her and her
Yes.
leg magic. I love her.
Yeah, Eva Bembo is your spirit animal.
Yeah, she is. She is. I love her.
Oh, very good. Good one. And so how would you like to see the pole community evolve over the next 5 years?
You know what? I would like to see the pole community become more of a utopia. When I first started pole dancing, I think I was a little naive because I thought the pole community was this perfect world where everything was just love and hugs and acceptance and light.
It's still on Earth. We still have all
Wait,
types of people.
exactly.
There's no such thing.
No, I know, but I really did think this.
Yeah.
And then when I got my wake up call, I was like, oh, it's just another, like you said, we're all still human, and we're all struggling, and we're still on Earth, and we still mimic the broader society to a certain degree. So I like to see us become more utopian and more accepting of each other, because we are not normal or regular. We are really different creatures. But in us being different creatures, we can't be looking at another creature like if a guy wants to wear heels and be trying to say, well, you can't wear heels. No, we all special creatures, baby. Do you? So inside the pole community, I just think I wish everybody in the pole community would realize, well, I'm a little strange to that person over here, so who am I to say that the person next to me is strange? No, we got to spread more love and spread more light and be more inclusive and kill some of this jealousy that's going around. Oh, Lord, just because you could do a trick better than me, baby, go do your trick. Don't be jealous. So I just want to see us become more utopian, and as we become more utopian, the broader community around us, we show them how to become more utopian.
That's true. Lead by example. Rise above the pettiness. We're
Above the
better
pettiness.
than that.
Yes. So I've just seen some pettiness in the pole community that makes me go like,
I know. let's not feed that energy. If you see
let's
it,
not
it's
feed that energy,
don't buy into it. And,
Don't buy
like you
into
said
it.
earlier, be louder with your
Be louder, be the change
in
you
the
want to be.
positivity. Yeah.
Exactly.
Cool.
Exactly.
So I'm going to share all of your social media and a bunch of your
Please do.
articles and all of that in the
Please do.
show notes. Yeah, so I hope everyone looks at the show notes. People don't know where the show notes are. It's if you're listening on iTunes, because I get this all the time. So
Okay.
I'm going to address it right now. If you go into iTunes, it's like a drop down. You hit more and it drops down. But you can always go to the Pole Parlour website, and it's always with under podcasts under your specific episodes, so you can find it all there because there's some great articles, and you were gonna have your sound meditation. You're sharing some great.
Oh yeah, I
stuff
gotta
with us,
send
so.
you one. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna find one to send you.
So before we let you go, can you leave us with an empowering message or a quote or anecdote just to sign off with?
I really think I just want to say it sounds really simple, but movement really matters. And I guess I say that because I am an older woman at 56, and that's my mission, to empower older women, because older women get discarded, we get thrown to the side. Movement really matters. Movement just matters, whether you're walking, whether you're standing at your kitchen sink and you're just rocking your hips, whether you're just walking through the house flailing your arms, whether you just do 10 minutes of exercise every other day. Movement matters. It gets the chi flowing in your body. It enlivens your aura. It keeps you young. Movement matters. Just move.
That's such great advice. It's more than just nailing that choreo, nailing that trick. It's like this overarching like self-care and
exactly. It's self-care. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Yes. So important.
Yeah, and it's fun as hell.
It so is.
Right? So don't forget that. It's way more fun than you'll ever have at the gym or mall walking or whatever.
I know. That's what the ladies in my class are finding out. They tell me that Saturdays at 1:00 is their favorite time of the week now, because they get to come to class and just play. It's like playtime.
Yeah, instead of doing like, the mall walking as like
exactly.
the older people. No. Get yourself into an entry-level movement class. And
entry-level movement. Have fun. Some sexy playtime.
Yeah. Cool. Well, Makeda, thank you so much for being on the podcast. It's been so fun and enlightening speaking with you.
Thank you. I love you. I love your pole parlor. I love your commitment to the pole community. I love your passion to put pole and aerial artists out there with their stories. What you're doing is really, really, really special, and you are blessed.
Oh, well, thank you, and I love you back, and you are the one that I am sending so much blessings to, and that serves to inspire me along with all the amazing people in our community. So
thank you.
You're welcome. Bye. Thank you for listening to the Pole Parlour podcast. Want more? Visit poleparlour.com for show notes and to link to the Facebook group where you can connect with other poloholics and continue the conversation. Listen to past episodes and subscribe to new episodes on the website, YouTube, iTunes, Stitcher, or SoundCloud. Lots of love, babes. Thanks for listening.